All right. Good evening and welcome. I'll be your caster for this evening, Dark Knight, for this Division C matchup between Macro Machines and Pepegas on Ice. We already have both teams logging in. We're in the lobby where we're heading out to Infernal Shrines. Trying to get some updates at my usual. Having to deal with California traffic as I came in. But we did have Towers, Alterac Valley, Sky Temple, Dragonshire being banned out, and Pepegas on Ice selected Infernal Shrines. And it looks like we're going to be heading in straight into the action for our draft of game number 1 in our opening week of NGS Season 20. And so we have two teams from in Division C who were both, I believe, were in Division B this previous season. Macro Machines being in B West. I believe the Pepegas were in B East. I need to double check. But either way, we have some veteran teams, both of them with revamped rosters. And right away, we do see a May ban. That seems to be a rather targeted ban. May is typically not a ban that you see, especially in the early of the first stage of banning. And we have a counter with a Junkrat, which is more of a standard ban. That's followed by a Brightwing ban, another very common ban. I think Brightwing being the third or fourth most common ban as far as popularity past season in all of NGS. That brings us into our second ban, and we do see a Sonya, so a little bit, again, more targeted. Sonya rather strong. Again, any hero on Infernal Shrines that can do damage to the opposing team while also taking the shrine monkeys or skeletons. It's very strong. We do see right away a first pick Blaze. I believe this week, I should say, this first week of NGS, Blaze has seen quite a bit of prio in all different divisions, and so continuing a trend very much that is to be true for a while now. Then we see a Chromie and Johanna. So right away, looking like a poke comp-ish, right? Johanna and Chromie very standard in a poke comp. Whereas with Blaze does allow a little bit of flexibility. But when you see the variant, right away you think pick comp, right? And Greymane verifies that. So with a Blaze variant and Greymane, very obvious that Macro Machines are wanting to pick one particular target and blow them up. One of the good things about having a Blaze or another beefy offlaner is that Blaze helps cover that weakness of Varian of not being a real tank until 4, and very smartly we do see Stukov ban, which is good. You don't want to see a Stukov with a Varian, but then you do see a Anduin ban on the side of Macro Machines, so making sure they're not going to be able to have any saves. Even for a Johanna, this combo can be very devastating. Oh, the music's a little too loud. Ooh. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. For some reason, it got pushed way up. I had an update on my OBS, and every time there's an update, it seems like everything gets like changed for some reason. So yeah, now I'm noticing there's a lot of things that get moved a lot higher than I normally have them. Well, if you really love the old HTC draft music, then you're fine with it, right? We see a Cardigan and a White Mane. Followed up with a, let me see, a Lyric, Rhaegar, and Falstad. So very much, they pick some tools to disengage. And it looks like Macro Machines are going all in when it comes to trying to get that blow up. However, Pepegas do have some tools to kind of work around that. But with that, I'll see you shortly in game number 1. All right, welcome back for our game number 1. Opening week of Season 20 NGS, Division C, matchup between Macro Machines and Pepegas on Ice. We'll begin with our introductions.
The battle begins in
We have Burb, or just Burb, on the Blaze, Torkin on the Grey Mane, Hoku on the Varian, Seralath on the Kerrigan, and Waterlong on the White Mane. On the side of Pepegas, Tomjin on the Johanna, Teal on the Chromie, Tikor on the Rhaegar, Raptor on the Falstad, and Moidar on the Skeleton King, Theoric. As per usual, we have our standard mid lane handshake. We do see both teams. Johanna trying to do a little bit of slowing down the rotations. And I do like that. That's something you don't see too often. If you're able to kind of slow down those rotations, especially right now. I mean, you don't have a real tank. We do see Greymane, though, being top lane. So we kind of expected the Variant to be the offlaner, but a little bit too aggressive on their positioning. And first blood goes in favor of Macro Machines. I was gonna say, it's good to have that slow rotation, but you also gotta be careful with that. I think maybe if the Blaze was there and not the Variant, maybe, right? I don't know. But they take advantage of that and go ahead and steal the siege camp. So very good move on the part of Macro Machines, taking advantage of that early kill. Members of Pepegas had to back off, and I think we just need to have a full ARAM league, right? Just run it down 5-on-5, or otherwise known as Storm League. We have Blaze moving over. Variant 4. And, oh yeah, I didn't show the talents early. It is a taunt variant, no smash variant. We do see that combo of like Kerrigan landing on the Chromie. Chromie trying to get away. Not able to get away. Or able to get away, I should say. However, later in the match, Kerrigan might be able to get that combo off and not let that Chromie escape. So Chromie has to be careful, because that's like twice now. Chromie's a little bit out of position. I mean, you're a very ranged hero. There's no reason to be melee weaving as a Chromie, right? We do see a good move on the part of Pepegas getting their bruiser camp. Pretty good timing. Especially with the foul stat, they're going to get a decent push. I mean, you see often many teams opt to just say, hey, we're going to give this first one, especially if it's not a frozen. We'll push for their camp, get some value. It looks like they are going to come down to contest that. You have foul stat coming in. Rhaegar's a little bit late. Johanna's already kind of low. Pops the unstoppable running in. Might have him a little bit early, and Rhaegar getting caught, but able to step away for the time being. A 33-8 favor on the side of Macro, and it seems like they're gonna have to give this up. Joe getting very low, gets pulled back by the Kerrigan, and Leo's going to be going down. So they're gonna get a little bit of value up here, but maybe not enough to justify. And this is where what I was just saying. Maybe, you know, obviously with Captain Hindsight, bird's eye vision, you could have maybe pushed this instead. Especially until 10, right? You have no way to disengage. We do see the taunt coming out on Johanna. The combo not hitting. So we go back to now our 3 minutes of hanging out. Did Chromie go? Yeah, okay. I just, oh, we see the invade coming in. Joe stepping up. Chromie focusing the foul stat, and this very aggressive pick comp of Macro Machines being very effective early. Macro Machines holding about a level lead. They do go ahead and take that bottom camp. Good decision. Death timers are too short. It's kind of difficult to get any value. Greymane potentially in danger, but not much of a lockdown they have. That's kind of the until 10s. There isn't really a danger as far as diving the backline. We do see then Macro pushing along with this bottom camp. Chromie does go with slowing sands, which I think is very good. If you have a very dive heavy team, slowing sands can be very annoying. Especially if you're able to kind of do the time traps in 2 spots where you can, you know, they're going to come in, they jump on you, you time trap them, and you put the slowing sands on them. At level 20, you take the spell reduction or increase on armor. Chromie can do quite a bit of work. You have Rhaegar and Leoric. Looks like Leoric is going, yeah, Entomb. So we have 10s online actually for both teams already. We do have Entomb, Blessed Shield, Gust, and Ancestral Healing. We do see Varian being a little bit aggressive. I think Chromie's trying. Oh, Chromie, you gotta be careful there. Yeah, Chromie. We do see now a full-out Prowl. Chromie gets picked up by that Kerrigan. And Joe is able to survive with 29 health. The Variant does able to have their charge and does get that confirmed kill on the Johanna. We did have Warbringer, Divine Reckoning, go for the throat. Bunker and obviously Ultralisk. So they have a uber stun dive combo. We have the second objective at mid lane. Right away, a very strong early lead, and looks like Pepegas are just going to give this for now. You gotta, Chromie, you gotta stay back. You can hit from half the screen away. You do not have to be in melee range. Well, it used to be very true, right? Before she got nerfed. Very good. Use Unstoppable on the jump. This is a frozen Punisher, so I'm sure Macro looking to get a little bit more value out of this. Likely should be able to confirm this. It turned off for the moment being, and Varian is just stuck in the slowing sands, but I think it should be turning off a little bit. Yeah. Once you see that second turn off, you just want to leave. We do see the engage on the Joe. However, very wisely, Joe saved trait for that. We're able to step away. For being a frozen Punisher, that's not bad. Ooh! Fausta just ran into that stun. We have Leo and Blaze doing Leo and Blaze offlaner stuff. Gonna give him a little bit of love as someone who plays offlane. But, you know, nothing really happens there. Being an offlaner is just... You're just a giant minion. It looks like pings are coming out. They see the people are walking in. The Joe steps up. Pulse? Was that the unstoppable? It doesn't look like... Oh, and again, wait. Wait, how is Chromie... So Chromie again gets picked off there, and Joe goes down as well. Wait, is Gus? Oh, you gotta... Yeah, you gotta use Gus there. Be able to get away. I think it's fine. Let's get the death count at this point. I think it's... Yeah, we do have Chromie with 3 deaths already, and so does Johanna. So, I mean, Johanna, understand, right? Chromie, you gotta be a little more careful there. At this point, we do see Macro building a very healthy 3-level, pretty much, or 2-level, but 16 to 14 advantage. And this is where, if you're Pepegas, you know, gotta stop the bleeding, gotta slow down the match, mitigate when you can. This is where you have to understand their comp was very strong early, and they took advantage of that, but it's not over. You gotta mitigate things. As far as 16s, we do see a banner of Dalaran. Interesting. Most of Greymeen's damage is physical. I think Kerrigan, because she didn't go the other ult, is mainly like half physical, half spell. Maybe for the white main, right? Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know anything about this game. We do see a good engage on, but Bunker, that good old Bunker. Good prevention of a gank. I don't know anything about that. I died to a gank. I don't know how to press my Bunker button. We have Chromie getting picked off again. Ooh. Very good job on the part of Macro Machines, just focusing the Chromie. Gus comes out. Was that on cooldown, or I wasn't paying attention on that? And even with just Kerrigan soloing the objective, Macro Machine, really good job on just taking advantage of their 16s, Pepegas just got it online, so this is the time where we do enter that time of you gotta be a little bit careful. If you're macro, you don't want to be hyper aggressive. You want to be opportunistic. See the Kerrigan combo coming out on the Leo. And Ancestral does save the Leo though. But when you save the Leo, Leo doesn't get used straight value, right? The taunt on the Johanna, we do see Entomb, but there isn't much a follow-up. It looks like it's like more zoning. Blaze tries to stun but misses. Bunker used right away. We do see the stun on the Johanna does go down, and now if you're Pepegas, you want to be careful because Leo does go down. You're entering territory of a couple more kills, and this might be GG. Greymane does go for the throw to secure the kill on the Gregar, and we do have now, it looks like Macro's posturing to go. The core call has been called, it looks like. Chromie trying to do their best. I mean, Chromie can do quite a bit of damage. You also have to be careful. And members are just in that. Oh, we do see the stun on the Leo. Or the Faust, I should say. Looks like Blaze will be going down, but with the Greymane on core, it looks like game number 1 will be going to the side of Macro Machines. GG. And a very strong showing for game number 1. The part of Macro Machines. From start to finish, very much able to just impose their will. Even though Falsat and Chromie technically led with top damage, but this is when you realize that stats kind of lie there, right? This is where the idea of effective damage, right, means something. We did have a 14-1 advantage on the side of Macro Machines. Looking at top damage, Chromie, Valstat, but obviously Greymane, Varian, and Kerrigan were able to put in work. Healing side, about even, right? Wyman, not surprising, but still, when there's a lot of that effective damage going through, it's not much Whitemane can do, which is actually interesting, right? Because Whitemane's strengths usually is that burst kind of engage damage. But obviously, much of it had to do with the level advantage that Macro had. It's kind of difficult to out-heal a 16-14 advantage. XP, Blaze and Leo, very similar. But obviously, a lot of what we saw here was Macro just being able to, having a pick comp and being able to execute it very well. Take a look at the talents. Meanwhile, while I wait for teams to let us know where we're going next, to update some stats. And some map bans. I had the very typical experience of being in California, and drives that typically last 40 minutes turn into an hour and a half. So I literally was stepping into the door. As we were doing the lobby. All right. We'll take a look at the bans because I didn't get to do that as the stream started. So we did have Macro Machine win coin toss. They decided to get first pick. We had Towers and Sky Temple being banned out by Pepega and Altrek, and Dragonshire being banned out by Macro Machines. Pepega chose Infernal Shrines. And it looks like we have our next game lobby. And it looks like we're going to be going to Dragonshire. Oh, sorry. Garden of Terror. That's the same thing. I just want to say Shire. It looks like this was picked by Pepegas. Looks like we have both teams. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. Both teams ready, but it wouldn't be surprising if we do see probably a Varian ban, maybe a Blaze ban. All right, we have both teams. It looks like we had one of the team members suffering of dog cuteness attack and needed a minute. And I told people I have that effect on, people. But it looks like everybody's ready. And we're going to go ahead and move into our draft for game number 2.
Garden of Terror.
And yeah, Cuball again, thank you for letting me know. I can very much see in the sound mixer that my in-game music was like super loud. And I don't know why that happened. Even though there's a delay, I try to look at chat. We do see a Valstad ban right away. That's surprising. Valstad gets lots of value in these large maps. And then we do now see a white main ban. Oh wow, that's interesting. So they figured we took it last time, we're not gonna let you have it this time. Follow with a Brightwing. So not surprising that the globals get bound out immediately. And the Blaze, not surprising. think Blaze brought a lot of value in those team fights. It's patch map, but that did leave up the last of the true globals, right? Which is the Haka.
Victory
But
for the Forsaken.
we do see Sylvanas. I do like that pick. So very good picks so far from both teams.
The crusade calls.
And that leaves up Joe. Joe, I think being still the most banned out hero, last popularity, banned out or picked, now slipping through the cracks. People are realizing that Joe's a bad tank, right? Giving that out to one of my peers who has a great dislike for Johanna. But that did leave Stukov and Variant. So right away we're seeing that pick comp going through, Junker being banned out. Which is interesting, right? Because you see that Stukov and Variant, that's a pick comp. Maybe you want to get rid of that Greymane or that Kerrigan. But we do see the Ragnaros ban, interestingly. And Rag gets quite a bit of value here. I need to choose my prediction stuff and I'll start a new one. And it does come out. And then Vala. So right away we do see another pretty much poke comp on the side of Pepegas. And very much what seems to be a pick comp on the side of Macro Machines.
The hunt is
A
on.
Lunara comes out, which is typically not what you see in a pick comp. Well, I guess you can, level 10. And there's that Greymane.
Rise again.
And then we have a Deathwing. Okay. So Deathwing very good at stalling objectives. So with the Sylvanas, if your Deathwing can get enough stalls and value, can make things work. So very interesting. We see again a very much pick comp versus a poke comp. But with that, I'll see you shortly on game number 2.
Are you serious? That high five was just OP!
The battle begins shortly, heroes.
So with that, OBS just went haywire. Okay, we're back. Game number 2 again in this opening week,
The gates shall
season
open.
20 of NGS versus Macro Machines and Pepegas on Ice, Division C. On the side of Macro Machines, we have Poku on the Variant again, Charlotte
One.
on the Stukov, Torkin on the Greymane, Lunara being played by Waterlong, and I'm a burp on the Dahaka. On the side of Pepegas, we have Raptor on the Sylvanas, Takor on the Deathwing, Teal now playing the Johanna, Tomchen playing the Vala, and Moidor on the Anduin. So we did see a bit of role switching on the side of Pepegas, so that's a very nice thing. If you have the flexibility of different people being able to play different things, and you're able to have that flexibility to role swap, that could be a really good strength. But also can be a very challenging thing, right? Because usually when you have people role swapping, you have people playing different roles that can maybe complicate things, but I myself think, in general, that's a strength, but it can be, you know, difficult, especially with like when it comes to execution and what you're expected to do. We have what I guess is the offlaners here. We do have Burb being able to soak top lane. Joe trying to get some of that soak, and oh, Lenara getting a little bit chunked by Deathwing. We have both teams doing their camps. Might be a little bit early for both, especially for, oh, I guess I do like that bruiser camp early. I guess this map is very much just doing camps the first like 2 minutes. We do see Anduin trying to set up to do camp. I don't think Anduin's the best. The Haka is kind of showing vision of that happening. Maybe members of Macro Machines are going to be coming. We do have level 4 online, so obviously I have to show no Smash variant yet again. I'm very disappointed. Vala did go Creed of the Hunter, so that means you gotta die. We do, it looks like I have the Haka here, and we're trying to get the pull out, but the Deathwing not able to get there just in time. And a very good invade, and so Macro Machines has been very good about these invades, and again with the pit comp. And very quickly already have built a 1-level lead, and even with this tribute on the bottom on their Fable side, it looks like they have no interest in trying to get Valley here right away. Greymane doing work with members of both teams trying to get there to contest the point, although it looks like Macro Machines is a little bit more interested in trying to stall. We do have Variant running kind of low and does go down, so it does pay the price. And with that, helps to close a little bit, you know, the lead a little bit down. But still about half a level lead in favor of Macro Machines. Just have Joe. We do see just an AA build. Governance. Kind of standard builds. And they do decide to take advantage of that kill to get a little bit of push. Highly agree with that. If you have a Sylv, you should probably... Oh, Sylv getting in trouble. We have that very weird interaction of using your Unstoppable and getting pulled at the same time. Joe trying to get back, but gets interrupted by Sukov. Silence. I'll be honest, I'm surprised Sukov was not banned. That Sukov was very effective. We did see Seraloth flex. Actually, we had both teams kind of flex. So we had Seraloth actually flex into the Sukov this time. We have the teams of Mac were able to get that combo with the Stukov and pick off the Vala. That's something you want. We do have Deathwing take Skyfall, right? So the idea is you kind of try to stall this. And so this top left would be a very good time to try and do that. You want to try and stall this out. Actually, you got the first seed, so yeah, you're fine. You can just even stall this out and just... There you go. Yeah, I mean, let's stall it a little bit. Slow down the game a little bit. I think Deathwing should be out of stalls here. Oh no, okay, now for sure. Now for sure. I mean, you have to, no, you had to cap right away because now you give time. And that's very, giving your body for the stall, but in the meantime, I do like this. It looks like Deathwing's able to get away, but that was actually very well played on the part of Pepegas. That was actually not a super ideal, situation, being down almost a level. But being able to stall, get a fort practically for free. That's exactly why you play Deathwing. So actually, very good, well played by Pepegas here. That bought you time. You're able to get 10s. Now for the next objective, you're both 1-1. Even did a bit, but you're still trailing about almost a level, so that's still going to be an issue at level 13. And you can make the case of, let's do the same thing again. So this is the irritating part of having the enemy team having the Sylvanas, and it looks like Macro's looking to maybe invade now. They back off. The Sylvanas team just pushes the opposite lane, and the Deathwing stalls.
Splendid. Gather that seed for me.
I think this is a very good test of comms and strategy and such, because you got to make very good decisions of, like, we're going to give this, we're going to take this. We do see that they were looking to push with that, but the Anduin caught out of place and very quickly able to take advantage of that and get an early kill. Johanna popping Unstoppable a little bit early, but should be fine. Deathwing, in general, Dahaka does not win this. I mean, especially with this level difference of health. That kill was very nice, but maybe still helps Macro a little bit. We do see all the members of Macro coming down, and so I mean, if they see all bottom, that's when we're like, okay, we're just gonna push top now. We do see number 10s being online for both. I didn't call out. I was too busy talking about stalling strategy, right? Which is more interesting. We do have Warbringer again. Thornwood Vine, which I do think is interesting. With a pick comp, I would have thought it would have been leaping. This time we do see Cursed Bullet. We do see that stall again. And now again we see that strategy of, okay, you're going to get the objective. We're going to push the opposite lane. I think definitely can do one more stall maybe. He's going in. Death Bolt. We'd have Isolation and Massive Shove. On the side of Pepegas, we do have Rain of Vengeance, Blessed, Wailing Arrow, Light Bomb, and more. They were able to save it for the time being, but 13s did come online. Joe looked like they came in. They used Unstoppable early, so now Joe's exposed. We see a full gauge with a Light Bomb. Gets the stun on the Stuff does go down. The variant getting very low, able to get away for the time being. Joe trying to make the chase, but also now is in trouble. Now has to retreat. Gets pulled by the Anduin. And again, very good on Pepegas. They have been now twice in the last two seeds in a very bad situation. And somehow was able to make the best of it. They weren't able to take that top fort, but practically with less than a fifth of health, it's practically gone, right? The nice thing about a Deathwing, it's kind of hard to CC combo Deathwing, right? Although a Lunara can have a fun time poking away Deathwing. We do see action in the top right. Blessed Shield does go out. Doesn't look like it's even. Blessed Shield does go out. Light Bomb shove. Looks like it was good, but not enough to save the Raimi. Dahaka in trouble, but able to separate Zedloth on the Zukov. One more. It does go down. Now, Hoku on the variant. So a 3 for none. Mid does go down, so that is the first keep, right? You see Anduin actually get the root, very good on that bit. It looks like Self should be able to push this. I don't think Dahaka is going to try to contest this, knowing that potentially 2-3 members are there, but Lunar trying to do their best to poke. And with that, Pepegas able to actually get, which is their first objective, right? They weren't able to get one on shrines. And obviously with the Sylve, you can get quite a bit of value with this. Very good silence. Light bomb combo. We do have a 1-for-1 variant taunt comes out, but not much of follow-up. Looks like they said we had enough top. We're going to mid. The Hawkeye looks like they're a little bit of trouble. Tries to get away with the burrow and does. As a show up on the Joe Bavala with 93 stacks now. That's where we see the scaling of Vala this time. Remy tries to jump in, tries to give Joe a little hug, but runs away. Taunt does go out, but so unlike game number 1, this time Pepegas doing a little bit job executing their own comp. We do them trying to take bottom, a little bit ambitious without the Deathwing. I think they realize it's probably not worth it. Sukov is not there, but the blow potential of macro does dissuade Vegas just to say, you know what, we got what we wanted. We're in control. We're about half a level lead. We don't have to force things, which I agree with. Sometimes it's one of those things that's very hard. You just get that bloodlust. But with that bottom camp, Macro Machines looks like they're trying to get some value on this. We have Grayman right away dive. 4 members of Pepegas there. We do see the Joe user, and then with the light bomb, very good engage, followed with the silence and very good execution on the part of Pepegas, able to get a 2 for none. Lunara not having leaping strikes to Sukov in no man's land will be going down, and Joe's still chasing the Lunara, but without a light bomb or any other CC. It looks like the Lunara's just, you know,
A new seed is sent to sprout.
that, you know, that emote, the ha 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 emote, the Carbot one. Yeah, pretty much. And it looks like they're trying to take advantage of this, and I do like this call. Take advantage. You have a Sylve, 3 members down. This is yours. Lunara can poke, but
There's my precious seed.
unless they have Blessed Shield, you're not in trouble. They take that keep and walk away, but now they're trying to make maybe a little bit of a chase, but they should be fine. Although they're kind of low. Joe's sort of very low. So this is a more, if you are Pepegas, you got away with it. You could have made the case of, like, we don't have to take this. Joe was super low. The Hawkeye was basically clearing top, so and it gets worked out. Macro do take their siege comp. So does Pepegas. '20s are online
Has been planted. It will
for
sprout
Pepegas, so
before
this
you
is,
know it.
they're about level lead. We do have Far Flight. Looks like Joe's holding. We do have Radiant Faith, Bolt, Censure, and Arrival of a God. I mean, if you're macro, you don't have to be here. This is potential of, like, if you get a wipe, they just go to core. So yeah, but yeah, let's see what's going on.
Shouldn't you be
Let's go
gathering
soak.
that seed?
Daka is bottom lane trying to get that soak and help close that gap. But it looks like they should be up. However, the path, as far as win condition for as of right now, macro is mid lane, right? So, and they still have towers, so if they get a full team wipe, yeah, with a green main, you're able to go. However, for Pepegas, even with just 2 members down, they can very much go core through bottom lane. But again, taking advantage of that Sylve.
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Those of you who played BFA. Oh, actually, no, Shadowlands, I should say. The hero of Shadowlands, Sylve. Very good engage, though. The Deathwing does get chunked right away by the person. Oh, and in trouble. Able to get the fear. Forced to use. Oh no, Deathwing actually might. Oh, the regen might be enough. Oh no. 200. Oh wow, that was very good timing. Very good job on the Sylve to use the silence on the Dahaka. Yes. I very much approve of that silence. I have told people, like, use that, and well, what I have been told too, use that Sylve ult as a gust, disengage whenever possible. That was a very good ult. Not ideal, but trading that is really good. We do have the engage with a light bomb. Silence on the variant, but goes down now with 2 members. It looks like they're gonna have to concede this, and if you're macro now, you're going to have to be forced to go back. Pepegas is very much now in charge, trying to kind of clean up the lanes. Top is already exposed, actually, so we have top and bottom. If you're Pepegas, I would say you want to pressure one of these, top or bottom. Don't let them, you know, free clear. But I guess you could just take mid and just have 3 waves that are pushed. I don't know anything about this game, so don't listen to me. Top is calm. We have bottom rushing in. It should be cleared rather quickly, but now we have a 5 with a relatively healthy. We do have the silence again coming up on the Dahaka. Very good combo with a light bomb. Lunara getting chunked, able to back away for the time being. Dahaka trying to survive. Does not have dig, or not say burrow. And with that, now all members are focusing on core. We do have Sylve trying to get there, getting chunked. The pull from Anduin saves the Sylvanas for the time being. Raimi trying to get a angle, trying to focus on that Lunara. Already looking for that go for the throat. Goes straight for the Sylvanas, but in the meantime, the kind of passive damage got to the core, and they were able to secure game number 2, so that evens up the series for the side of Pepegas. So this time around, not quite, almost flipping the script. Very strong showing, very dominant showing on the side of Macro Machines. So it's 14-1. This time around, a 13-5 kill count favor on the side of Pepegas. Seeing Lunara doing quite a bit of damage, actually doubling practically almost everybody. But that overall damage from the side of Pepegas coming through. And that's the question I had, that very strong kind of effective damage that I mentioned last time not showing up here. And that more so poke comp from the side of Pepegas was very effective. I very much liked their ability to stall with that Deathwing. I mean, this is kind of the classic this and Cursed Hollow, right? The very classic maps for Deathwing stalls. So I did like that they went around and were able to take advantage of Sylve and give him, or try to almost give him the objective, but with the stalls actually were able to get some forts and then rotate down and even get the seeds themselves. Healing Anduin did really well this time. Next speed-wise, Dahaka and Deathwing at the top, not surprising. Take a look at the talents for the time being. So much action at the end. I didn't call the 20s, but we had pretty standard. Obviously with the Greymane going. We typically don't see cursed with war again, right? That's usually with like go for the throat. So that's a combo you don't see too often. Contagion, you could have made the argument, especially being back or down so far that, you know, shortened time on dig maybe have been better. But this I think is sort of good. I think Vala was stacked and having Farfight clever. No way really for them to kind of engage on that. Vala was kind of difficult on the side of macro. So with that, let's choose our outcome, update our information. With that last match, we're tied at 1-1 now. And I'll switch over to our map as we have teams. Select what we're going to next. Looks like we have a little break, so I'll be right back in a second. All right, it looks like we have our next map selected. Macro Machines opted to go to Battlefield of Eternity. I forgot I have my music going on. Production value very low around here. Look at the stats. I think Battlefield of Eternity from last season, season 19 in general, from across the board in NGS, I think it was like the middle picked, one of the middle picked maps. I can confirm that in a second with my handy dandy stats of the storm that I have already up. That might crash my computer. And yeah, Battlefield of Eternity was in the middle, right around middle. the most popular by far across all NGS was Infernal Shrines. But with that, we're going to get going into our game number 3.
Of eternity.
So we very much had both teams do the same thing as far as pick comp, poke comp. Both teams chose different map. Well, actually, both times it was actually Pepegas. This time it was Macro that chose it. We do see the white main, so we see very much a white main kind of prio on ban or pick. Either we're gonna ban it or not let you take it. Not surprisingly, we do have Vala being banned out. Very good at doing stuff at the Immortal. And Lunara, interestingly, does get banned out. Lunara did have a lot of damage. Typically, I would say pretty good at race, but not something I would consider too crazy.
This realm needs me.
We instantly see a pick of Li Ming.
For the Horde.
And this time around, Johanna goes through on the side of Macro Machine. So this has to be so far. Okay, so now the data's building up. First week going. People are realizing that Joe's not that good, so we're not gonna ban her, right? Heroes. As far as popularity, Johanna was the most banned and or picked last season, all of NGS, with 81.1% of popularity,
Our time has come.
44% ban rate across all of NGS in season 19. The next closest was Anduin at 30.8%, so 13% more than Anduin. Pretty close after that, but only with a 50% win rate. So maybe figured out like, hey, Joe's good at some places, but not overpowered. I'm happy with that. But we do see a Sonya being picked up. That was banned up in game 1-1. Right away, we do see Artanis being snapped up by the side of Pepegas on ice. Reverse sweep. Potentially. I have to get my predictions going. The Anub followed up. I mean, Anub has been up there. I think Anub is always like very sneaky for some reason. Look at the stats. I'm a big stats person.
With every death comes honor.
You know, stats lie.
Honor.
Anub was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th most popular hero with pick or ban. But we do see Ariel being picked up with the Hanzo. Hammer was banned. Interesting. And obviously, this time, wait, Macro banned Greymane, so I guess that was like a denial pick and or ban. And there comes that Sylve again, so we have Deckard and Sylve. So they have kind of like a poke potential for blow up, obviously a 10, very much with that silence, and a Medivh comes out. So it looks like Macro is going to be trying to stop that race while Hanzo races, but very much early on, Pepegas have the advantage. The Li Ming, Artanis, Sylvanas is not even close. With that, I'll see you in game number 1. All right, welcome back. I say game number 1, it's game number 3.
The battle begins.
This time I'll introduce Pepegas first time because they won. So we have Tikor on the Artanis, Tomjin on the Sylvanas, Raptor on the Li Ming, Anub on, or Teal on the Anub, Moidor on that Decker Kane on the side of Macro. We have Burb on the Sonya, Hoku on the Johanna, Serleth on the Oriole, Waterlong on the Medivh, and Serleth on the Oriole. We did see Pepegas trying to get some value from that push, but somehow, I think we missed it because I wasn't talking, but either because they were focusing towers or something, they got chunked down. So good job on the Sonya, we're able to defend 3v1. Macro does recognize that. Can you hear me now?
Red team draws first blood. It is time for a change.
How about now? Hello? Okay. Something happened. I see now feedback. Okay. Thank you for letting me know, Bird. I see the feedback on my side. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I think we did the slide change, something happened that made the scene silence. So I went back and forth and that fixed it for the time being, so I'm not gonna do anything else. Like I said, after that update, when I got back home, that automatically happened. A few things got changed. So thank you for letting me know. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, the less talking I do, probably better. So we did have that I was distracted. I apologize. That's the first immortal, right? Still left very low, able to get away before the time being. Waterlong actually maybe saved that Ming orb. We do have Sonya going down this time around. And with that, we do have the noob diving down. Savannah's trying to secure the Hanzo, able to agility over. I think. Oh, Savannah's getting really low. Medivh trying to get that value, but Joe able to step away for the time being. Ario in a sort of bad position, but was able to heal out of it. It looks like this bottom fort will be going down.
Red team has destroyed a fort. The demon's
Yeah,
attack has
but
failed.
thank you for letting me know again. Like,
We have not seen the end of him.
as I mentioned, like when that update happened, the sound was changed and everything. When I did my transition thingy, it somehow muted stuff, so but it works out. And with that Sylve able to get lots of values, so again Pepegas is able to kind of carry out their comp. Hanzo did go full W build, so not surprising. Medivh almost stacked. We do have Sonya trying to defend top. Don't think it's gonna last much longer with that Sylve up there. And that's the problem of having a Medivh, right? Is that until Medivh is stacked, if you're not able to get value out of your portals and your protects, as you see Artan say, whatever, I'm just gonna go in and secure this. But getting Chuck Sylve able to turn it off, which helps that Artanis, but Artanis might be going down. We have level 10s online. Cocoon right away goes out. But for the time being, just delays any other engage from the side of Macro Machines. We do have Suppression Pulse, stay a while and listen. Will and Arrow, as we saw Cocoon and Disintegrate. We do have now 10s online as well for Macro Machines. They're looking like they were trying to potentially invade. We have Falling Sword, Dragon Noodles, Leyline Seal, Leaping Strike, and Crystal Aegis. By the way, we have a lot of R buttons. We have the Sonya stopping in with the Dragon Noodles coming down the line. Not really hitting. The Unstoppable is being popped by the Johanna, but with almost no mana. And Noob does go in. The swap on the Johanna, but not the ideal target, but able to use that trait to, at least for the time being safe. But that Hanzo being chunked. The members of Macro Machines forced to retreat or fall back and get some mana. We do have that camp gonna be pushing top. They're gonna have to respond to this. They have some time. Artanis in a little bit of a out of position. We do have the new diving into Peel, but with no support. Not ideal, but not being punished for that. So that's something where you gotta be careful, because if the whole entire team of Macro is there, you're likely dead. We do have Ming. Both teams trying to posture up for the second half of this Immortal phase. Let's see Joe come out. We have Dragon Noodles coming out again, doing some damage on some of the members of Pepegas. Falling Sword with the light bombs. Hanzo being cocooned the whole time, and not ideal. We have Leap coming out to follow up and being able to get one kill on the Johanna, trying to look for a second. Not quite able to secure it yet. Sylve does go down, being a little bit aggressive there, but in the meantime, the Immortal is also being chunked. And the second immortal goes now in the favor of Macro. Both teams about the same experience.
This land where corruption shall spawn.
All members of Pepegas should be up to defend this, so it should be rather easy clear. We do see the portal being used. Dragon Noodles does come out to try to do some damage. Gonna do a little bit of damage to me, getting kind of chunked, but should be fine. Looks like they should be able to defend this. No one's gonna be caught on that ley line seal.
Stay alive.
You accidentally muted the tab. Actually, that was fine because on my end, it was not showing that I had any feedback. So I can see when I have feedback in my volumes, and it was not showing any feedback. So I prefer you tell me that it potentially is not working. So that works out. I do that too when I've tabbed out between pages. We just see a very good whip by the Oreo. Savannah's trying to chase down that Johanna, and it looks like Johanna's going to be able to get away. We have the zoning dragging strike. A noob still giving chase, but maybe out of place. The Cocoon goes on the Oreo. Johanna getting very low with 80 XP. Well, health, I should say. Will we go down? We have a stay one. Listen, with a counter leap on the Sylvan, we'll be going down, and we have a 1-for-1. We have both teams just pressing R's, and they figured we've had enough. We were both out of cooldowns. Let's go do some camps. We do have the third immortal. A beneficial spawn for both teams. It looks like Pepegas will focus on trying to race, and I would say this at this point favors slightly Pepegas just because of numbers. Yeah, they're about even. Oh no, actually Macro won it. 14 to 1500 or 15,000. Looks like the Pepegas are going to look to poke it out as much as they try to can, but I mean, there's this top camp up here. Someone's going to have to respond to that. So that's something that if you're Pepegas, you have to recognize. We don't have to force these things. We can stall this out as long as possible. We do have lane line from the Medivh come out. Hanzo kind of from the back line, claiming down that immortal, but now kind of in a weird spot. We do see the engage on the Sonya, trying to spin, able to get that portal to kind of step out for the time being. Will get away. We do see in the meantime the Artanas actually go down. So even with teams all over the place able to get value, we do see the Sylvanas, and then the Sonya does go down. So both teams just trading punches, but this top camp will get some value. I imagine it will take that key. We trying to see that Ming output that damage, and does get the Joe kill, but that immortal is only down to about 10,000 health, and I think unless you secure that kill on that Hanzo, that the noob is getting really low. Will not be able to. Actually, it was not 10,000. I was reading the blue immortal, which was 10,000. That top keep did get value, not quite, about a third down. But ultimately, it did go in favor of Macro. But even if you're Pepegas, this is not horrible. Joe's not going to be there for a while. I mean, you can run at this for the most part.
I will bring down of hell.
With the Ming, you should be relatively safe to defend this at the wall. Joe's not going to be there for another like 10 seconds. We do see Lane Lion, but we've seen a dragon. Yeah, dragon noodles. It's a little bit damaged, but not much value there. We do have leap on the Sylv, and Sylv has been a priority target. Very good choice by Macro, able to step up for the time being. We do have portal being used on the backside, maybe trying to see if that pick for that Sylv is available, but it's not there. We have Cocoon out on the Hanzo. And a very good say, wow, listen. The Hanzo using the portal, trying to get out, but gets picked off. And that with no ability to retreat. We do have Leyline go out, but the Medivh in a very bad spot. It looks like they're going to be... Oh, Protect, by the way. Does get the portal out. Can he mount before? Yes, of course. Typical Medivh things, right? But that leaves Oriole in a bad spot, but Protect. By the way, you know. But with 2 members down for about 20 seconds, it looks like they're going to try to take this top keep, and very little that... I mean, if you gotta be careful, if you're Macro, you don't have to be there. Yeah, we do see Leyline, but still, you do not want to be there. Very good stall. They are pretty much fortune, I guess. It would have been difficult to end. They're going to be taking this top camp. Very good job on Macro to pick up their bruiser. Will help. It's going bottom. So, and Medivh is going to try provide vision. So this is something, if you're Pepegas, you want to be mindful of. Macro might want to be coming in on this. The gate's up. Do they have Leyline? Joe does go in. Protect is being used. We have Dragon Udas, and they're all trying to fight on point. That's not what you want to do. It is picked up by Macro, but Crystal Age other than Joe, but it looks like Joe is being protected again. Very good job by the Medivh. Gets full health back. Joe is able to get away. The Sonya leaps on the Artanis, trying to get away with 15 health. Does go down, and so does Sonya. So we have a 1-for-1 so far. And a very good exchange there, though. We have a half of a bruiser push in. Both teams are likely to do that, but that pressure top lane, Joe unfortunately has to go back and try to help clean that. Meanwhile, we do have Pepegas able to get an early lead. Or actually, Macro, I should say. It looks like Hanzo's in a little bit bad place. He kind of... Oh, the portal actually took... I think Medivh was trying to use that to get away, right? It's one of those portals of... Wait, what? I thought this was taking me away and actually took me back into the team. And with 2 now members out for about approximately 40 seconds, it's looking like Pepegas are going to be able to take this Immortal with about a little bit over half shield. If you are Macro, you want to take this down maybe somewhat. Otherwise, it might be challenging. 20s are almost online for Macro. And both Pepegas slightly ahead. It doesn't probably look like during this push and soak that Pepegas should get it. So that compounds the problem. This is when you just, go core. Right? Just go core. If you're Macro, just go core. It looks like they're trying to do a setup of flank. The vision. Pings come out. Warning. Medivh giving some of the vision. With a pretty healthy shield on that Immortal, we do see the engage by the noob. Instantly, Johanna does use the all. Dragon Noodles comes out to do some damage, but not much. Medivh is looking for like a flank situation. Very good sleep on the Medivh. Medivh is definitely looking for that Leyline seal. And with that, shield's gone, but still relatively healthy. Immortal, and now it's marching onto core. The Cocoon on the Sonya, Fallen Sword. We do see the focus on Sonya, and Sonya will be going down now on Johanna, trying to get away, but it looks like they're going to be going down the Blitz Shield or the blinds to get some of the health back. Aegis, and with that, 2 members down. The members of Pepegas focusing on the core. And we do have a reverse sweep in favor on the side of Pepegas. Let's see if we can get a interview going, but for the most part, very good job for both teams. Very strong showing on both sides early on in game 1 and number 2. Came down to game number 3. I could go in and update my information.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? And sorry, I'm tapped out right now trying to get information. And joined by Tom Jen. So anyways, congrats, and how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, it's our first win of the series or the season, so yeah, really happy about it.
Yeah, congrats, and very exciting series. Very much game number 1 and game number 2 trading punches. Both teams very much kind of doing what they wanted to do. Game 1, number 2, and 3 a lot closer than I would say first game 1 and game 2, correct? And so something that very much obviously first game of the season, maybe lots of excitement, anxiety, etc. And so, you know, just to keep it kind of short, how are you feeling after that game number 1, right? Obviously things did not go as planned. So what was the mindset moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, before that, Mudar is hoping to join. Do you know if we can bring her into this?
Yeah, I can. Oh yeah, sorry. There you go.
Excellent. Okay, yeah. So to catch you up, Mudar, the question was after game 1, how were we able to refocus on the next games? And my thinking was, it's like a lot of game 1 was just us getting caught by the Kerrigan in those chokes, and like we were planning to invade early with the pre-4 variant, but we just got destroyed between the double combos of the Kerrigan and the blaze stuns. So yeah, I mean, just recognizing that that was our main reason we lost. I don't think our morale was too low going into games 2 and 3.
We rarely lose morale. Like, we just kind of start troubleshooting instead of bickering, and just make whatever adjustments we think we need to and pull it together.
Great. And so obviously one of the big challenges for a lot of teams, even veteran and new, I say maybe more so for new teams, right, is trying to, you know, that first game, there's little data on opposing teams, sometimes a lot of roster shifting. Very much it comes out to like maybe some of the prep you did. So do you feel like maybe your prep leading up to this first match helped you with this particular situation?
Well, we were definitely scouting them, and it was annoying because we saw that they had 2 really good white main players, but we thought that because we thought Sarlacc would be healing, which they did in games 2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
But the swap in game 1 was like, oh no, now we're playing against the white main. So it was hard to prep too much from the scouting perspective. I mean, at least we were able to recognize that the white main was ban-worthy in the next couple of games. But yeah, otherwise just scrimming. Early shout-outs to some of the teams that have been scrimming us. I think I got a message, so congratulations from one of them for the game. So
great, yeah. and I think it's one of those things, right, where it's like that even a few matches, right, can make a big difference as far as being prepped for the game opener or season opener of the season. But very much, yeah, Macro Machines was very much able to kind of execute their pick comp, right, and very effectively. And it's one of those where they kind of they got us, they beat us to the punch, and just next game, correct. Obviously moved on to game number 2. That was selected again by Macro, correct?
We
You selected. Oh yeah, you're right. You selected the first 2. So obviously you thought both of those first 2 matches or maps were your comfort, and so you kind of ran sort of a similar comp. They were doing pick comp, you were doing the poke comp, but this time you threw a little bit of flavor in there with that Deathwing, and so
it was.
I very
it
much
wasn't a poke comp. It was a macro push comp.
well, I mean, with a Joe, with the Sylve and such, you're really not gonna dive them, right? Like they were diving you in first game. But
True.
Deathwing's very good against that dive, right? Because you can't CC Deathwing. And so I did appreciate that kind of flavor there, and very much in a very large map. I think you did it very effective, and I think it's very obvious what you were trying to do, right? We're going to try to work our Sylve to get value while Deathwing stalls, correct? It's
Yep.
the sky's blue, right?
And like people usually think of Vala as a micro hero, like just kill the enemy team. But if you've got full gambit, the auto attack on structures,
Oh, yeah.
that auto attack speed is deadly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're ripping through the buildings.
What people forget is that siege quotes race, right? So people who are very good at racing in the Mortal do very good siege, which siege is structures. And so, full stack Vala, even full stack that Q build Vala does quite a bit. And so, I did like that you were able to take advantage of that, being able to stall. There was two of the seeds where I was like, oh, they're giving this up, but somehow you stalled long enough that you got a fort and still were able to rotate back to stall enough more or even take the seed. So that was a very good execution of that particular comp. Very frustrating because I've played with and played against both those comps, very similar with Deathwing. So it's one of those comps that if you get executed, it's like we can't really do anything, right?
Yeah. We'll find out if we get to play it again this season.
Yeah, it's one of those where oh, go ahead.
Please don't ban T-Core off Deathwing. It makes him sad.
I'm pretty sure I've played with Decor before where he's been on the Deathwing, so I think I'm familiar with that. But yeah, it's one of those things that maybe people will forget, right? It's so early in the season, people might forget later on.
Yeah. We'll have some other strategies to make them choose between their bans, to pick their poison.
Yeah.
We have other things I want to ban instead.
Yeah. And so then we saw in game number 3, right, to win it all, you tied up going to Battlefield of Eternity. This time was selected by Macro Machines. And we kind of have a little bit of flip, right? Joe was taking this time on the side of Macro, and you opted for a noob, more of a dive pick comp hero. I have to ask this question. You picked the Artanis. Was that strategic?
It was somewhat strategic because T-Core has a really strong Artanis, and we even played it quite a bit last season. But also, like, if we're playing it with Hoku, like we got to take the Artanis.
I know. I had to ask. I just had to ask for the. So
we were debating first picking it and decided against it.
I had to ask, right? So that's all. That was my biggest question for game number 3 now. But obviously we had a little bit of flip. You have slightly a little more of like a pick-ish, right, with Pokish. They had more Pokish this time with Hanzo, Medivh, Johanna, and very much early. You got the early Punisher, they got the second one, but I think you did a very good job of getting value of that Sylve. I personally hate Sylve, so
The early game value was crazy there.
Yeah. You were able to get a lot of value of that Sylve. I will say game number 3 compared to game number 1 and 2 seemed a lot more chaotic. Do you think that was more so just because maybe you're trying something new, or there was a lot of buttons being pressed? I was having when you rewatch the VOD, you'll see I'm trying to keep track of all the buttons being pressed, and it was a little more chaotic. So when things are so chaotic, how do you reel everybody back in to focus?
I mean, you want to go take this on Mutar?
I mean, it depends on the situation. It ends up sometimes just being chaotic regardless. Especially when we're getting dived like that. That's something we're working on as a team.
Yeah, and
I
obviously.
would also say a lot of.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I would also say a lot of the chaos was the Medivh like trying to port them running around to the backside of our team, sending the twin dragons from like middle of nowhere, and so then Teal's like, oh, let's dive the Hanzo is like behind us, and then I'm going there, and then some other people are like, well Hannes doesn't really have escape, so he's like, well, I'm already in here, guys.
Yeah. I think Macro did a really good job of getting these weird angles because of Medivh with the ley line and Hanzo, and it was very interesting. So it was also hard to cast, right? Because there's just so much stuff going on, and that's very chaotic, right? Because idea is like we have like a Medivh behind us who's gonna ley line and seal. We have a Hanzo on top of us who's gonna do Dragon Noodles. You have Joe and up here in front of us, and the Sonya who's about to leap us, right? That's a lot of comms have to happen potentially, or you just press buttons and let Jesus take the wheel, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those fights too, even though they were chaotic, we had macro pressure in the top lane.
Yeah.
So we weren't that upset about trading fairly evenly. Of course, losing 2 forts off of one objective was kind of rough, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, and with that, I mean, you were able to take advantage. It was a very good fight. At the end, it was very chaotic, and you were able to get, it's pretty simple, right? You were able to get value. You got kills. There's not much to it, right? Besides that. And you were able to get the last one and march to core and do the reverse sweep, which it's very hard. I always tell teams, and I help other teams and I coach other teams. It's one of those hardest things when you are down 0-1 and you were like, I mean, not to be disrespectful, you were manheld, right, in that game 1. It can be kind of like, oh wow, man, we're maybe punching above our heads, but you were able to recoup and do your game need 2, right, get some confidence back, and then game 3 was winner all, and you got it. But with that, great job, and I'm sure you're very happy about this, and look forward to casting more games in this division. But with that, I'll leave it up to you if you have any final comments or if you have any shout outs you want to give.
Yeah, again, shout outs to the teams that helped us scrim and prep for the season. Shout outs to Creepio, like all the subs that were able to fill in for those practices as like chaotic summertime people not being able to show up. So it's like Creepio, Sulfrenia, even Torrens, who's not on the roster this season, but he's there. And also shout out to Peas, who is not supposed to be main roster, but now he's trying out for high level water polo. So we're cheering him on as well. Any further thoughts, Mutar?
Oh, no, just stoked to be at the start of a second season with this lovely team.
and shout out to you, Dark Knight, for casting us. Thanks a lot.
I have one last thing. In that last bottom sequence, I have to give a shout out to Miodar, because I think that Medivh was going into the back. I think Miodar saw that and did a stay a while and listen on the Medivh as they landed. Like, that was actually pretty, that's like very like half second reaction-ish, right? So that was like, you should rewatch that. That was like, oh wow, that's kind of half luck, half skill, right? But still, that was very good timing on that. So I'll interrupting your shout outs. That was very good.
Thank you.
No, I think we're done.
But either way, congrats, and I'm sure you're happy. Enjoy with your team, and your 2-win victory, and good luck. And I hope to cast more games in Division C. So maybe I'll see you next time.
You bet. I'll look forward to your next cast.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Congrats, and see you next time.
See ya.
All right, and with that, we had Tomjin and Miodor from Pepegas on Ice, and that ends our cast. Pepegas on Ice winning 2-1 versus Macro Machines with our opening week of Season 20 for NGS in Division C. Trying to see who is on. I think we have one match going on. I'll pass you over. It looks like Raka is casting, maybe. Oh no, that might have ended, but either way. Oh yeah, no, we do have that. So I'll be passing it off to Raka. We have the next match. Looks like with, I know they were casting. So, but either way, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. And if you want to continue on, you can see that. And otherwise, thank you very much, and have a good night. And thank you for joining me. See you next time.